Hello, this is Shannon with Dogwood Crochet, and today I'm going to be showing you the steps to make this corner to corner color block throw blanket. So I've divided it up into three kind of color block sections, and I'll just be showing you the basics for how to start, how to increase, and how to decrease each row for this blanket. So corner to corner means that the blanket is worked diagonally from one corner to another corner. So each row will increase. So we'll work it like this, increasing, and then when we've reached a size that we're happy with for the blanket, we'll start decreasing. And so we would work like this to decrease. So I'm going to show you the basic steps for how to start, how to increase, and how to decrease for this corner to corner blanket. So to start out, the materials that you'll need are some yarn. I'm using 2 of 1's Color Theory yarn, which is medium weight yarn. And then you will also need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You can also follow along with the written pattern, which will have all of the details on how much yarn to use and how many rows to do for each color, and all of those details to make this blanket. Okay, so to start out, we're going to make a slip knot. And then we're going to chain 6. Okay, so I just chained 6. So now I'm going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So we're going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to place a double crochet into that 4th chain. And then I will have 2 chains left. I'm going to place a double crochet into each of those. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet. And then 1 more double crochet into the last chain. All right, so we just made our starting block. So each of the blocks in the blanket will consist of a chain 3 and 3 double crochet. So this was our starting block, and now we're going to increase. So we're going to chain 6. So every time you increase, you're going to chain 6. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to do the same thing that we just did. We're going to find the 4th chain from the hook. 4th chain, we're going to place 1 double crochet into that 4th chain. All right, and then we have 2 chains left. We're going to place 1 double crochet into each of those. Okay, so this is how it looked originally, and now we're going to turn our work. So we're going to turn this little square here, and we're going to slip stitch into this chain 3 right here. So we're going to insert our hook under that chain 3, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through the loop on our hook. So that was, we just did another increase for row 2. So now we're going to do a continuing block, which is basically working into an existing block. So we're not increasing, but we're just working into one that's already existing, which would be this one. So we're going to chain 3 now. And then we're going to place 3 double crochet into this chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. So now you can see we just finished row 2, and now we have 2 blocks in row 2. So we have 1 block in row 1 and 2 blocks in row 2, and we're going to continue increasing diagonally like that. Now we're on row 3. We're going to increase, so we're going to chain 6. And then we're going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. And then we're going to place 1 double crochet into each of the 2 remaining chains. Okay, so this is what our new block looks like now. We're going to flip or turn our work like this, and we're going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space right here. And now we're going to work a continuing block, so we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to work 3 double crochet into this chain 3 space, just like we did for row 2. All right, so now we have 1 more block to work into for row 3. Going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space. And then we're going to chain 3, just like we just did. Then we're going to place 3 double crochet into the chain 3 space. Okay, we just completed row 3, and now you can see there are 3 blocks across in row 3. Let's start working on row 4. So at the beginning of each row, you're going to increase unless you're working decreases. So you're always going to chain 6 for an increase and start by working into that 4th chain from the hook. Now we're going, well, my work kind of naturally flipped itself, but if we were working like this, we're going to flip it and then slip stitch into this chain 3 space. And then we will work a continuing block, starting with a chain 3 and then working 3 double crochet into that chain 3 space. And so we just continue this pattern across the row. Each row will increase by 1 block and the number of blocks in your row should be equal to the row number. So for example, this is going to be row 4. So at the end of row 4, we should have 4 blocks. So here we are at the end of row 4, and you can see we have 4 blocks across. So I'm gonna continue working just to make my sample a little bit bigger, and then I will come back and show you how to decrease. Okay, so let's just say for the purposes of this video that I'm done increasing my blanket and I want to start decreasing it. So my pattern calls for making a square blanket, but you can also make it rectangular with this C2C or corner to corner technique. So let's say I want to start decreasing now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to flip my work, and I'm going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space right here in this first block. Okay, so instead of increasing, we just moved over. We were here and we just moved over right here. So now for the rest of the row, we're just going to work continuing blocks. So we'll chain 3, and then we're going to place 3 double crochet into this chain 3 space. So we'll work along this row like normal. The only thing that was a little bit different was we did not increase at the beginning of the row. We did that chain 3 and we slip stitched into that first chain 3 space. Okay, so already you can see I just finished that first little square, and so you can see this already formed a corner. So when you decrease, the number of blocks in your row will decrease by 1 if you're doing a square. If you're doing a rectangle, the number of blocks in your row will depend on the size that you're doing. All right, so we're coming up on the last one here. So we just did our last one. So if I wanted to make it a square, I would stop right there. So I just slip stitched into this last block, and then I would chain 3, and then I would flip my work and slip stitch into the chain 3 space for that block. So we just made another corner right there. So that's if I were to do a square. So you can see it's starting to decrease diagonally like that. However, if I want to make a rectangle, I would keep increasing on one side and make sure that you place a stitch marker to indicate which side that you're increasing on, and decrease on the other side. So to increase, we'll just continue doing the pattern we've done, which is work a continuing block. So chain 3 and 3 double crochet into that chain 3 space. and then we will work a chain 6 to work an increase. So we'll chain 6, and then we'll double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, and double crochet into the next 2 chains, and then flip our work and slip stitch into the next chain 3 space. So here you can see we have a corner here, and this side is continuing to increase this way. So if we wanted a rectangle, we would just keep working decreases along this side and increases along this side until we were happy with the size. And then once we're happy with the size of the rectangle, we would work a decrease on both sides when we got to the ends. So I'm going to continue working decreases for this rectangle, and then I will come back when we are getting closer to the end. All right, we are coming up on the end here. I just joined here. I'm going to work another decrease. So I'm going to chain 3, flip my work, slip stitch into the chain 3 space, and then do a continuing block. So I'm going to chain 3 and place 3 double crochet into the space, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the next chain 3 space and do another block. Okay, we just got to the other edge, so we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3, flip our work, and slip stitch into this chain 3 space. Now we have 1 block left to go. So just continue pattern, chain 3 and 3 double crochet into this last chain 3 space. And then we slip stitch into this one, and now we have our rectangle. You can either choose to fasten off here, or I like to just chain 3 and flip my work one more time and slip stitch so that I end on the corner like that. So it's just a matter of personal preference. It doesn't really make a difference, but that's just what I like to do. So now we have our little tiny mini blanket. But that's how to crochet a corner to corner blanket using double crochets. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and the full written pattern for this color block corner to corner blanket is available on my Etsy shop if you are looking for more details on how I made the blanket itself. But otherwise, you can use this technique to make blankets of any size and any shape. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give it a thumbs up and comment below if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.